On to race number 2, our second event on Saturday. Another Class 5. We're straight on to the all-weather, though, here over the 1,800 metres. Jin King, Class 5 for the first time. All-weather for the first time. Gorgeous again, back into Class 5. He's a 3-time distance winner on the turf. Enjoyable success. He comes back to the all-weather. Penzance, all-weather debut. He's one of the 2 David Hall runners here. Me Blanco won over this course back in December. That was over the 1650, though. Dragon Warrior goes from the 14 up to the 1,800 metres. And Little Fantasy, who was 3rd at course and distance. That was back in December behind Holy Unicorn. It's been behind Me Blanco as well since.
Yeah, good to slow. Jin King led a recent trial for Matthew Poon. Drawn 4, Poon will take the ride here, so you would expect that he'll be sourcing the lead. Court rule, a Little Fantasy can go over from a wider barrier. Master Bonini, of course, raced at the Valley last start, but he looks better suited on this surface. Corre Rapido, he's posted wide there, but worth noting last start he was a lot handier, but he had drawn better. So he may have to push on from that position, possibly. That could be an option.
Lucky Shiny Day looks well placed in this race. Joe Moreira again will take the mount on him. He's pretty consistent, this horse, and we know he does like this all-weather surface. He's only had 3 starts, but he was just beating the nose in one of those, so he's going nicely. Dragon Warrior, another one that does like this surface, and he shouldn't get a bad run looking at that speed map as well. Another one that's still a maiden, but has been going pretty well recently. And Jimmy Ting hasn't had the horse for too long, so another one that you can see under a decent hold as he finished up his work. And the aforementioned Corre Rapido, as we talked about, interesting to see where he is in the run. For me, he's a similar horse to Ruminaire, really. He looked really good when he first started, but he still hasn't managed to ping it all together on race day.
All right, we'll come back to him in a second. We'll start off, though, with Lucky Shiny Day, Sweet Bean and Travel Ambassador. On the turf, of course, but this is the 1,800 metres.
I've tipped him his last 2, Andrew, and I haven't been disappointed with the efforts. I thought this was a good run behind the Joy of Giving. He got back, pace didn't suit him in the race, hit the line really well. And prior to this, he ran 4th behind Travel First, who got the soft lead. He came from well back. I think he's better on the all-weather, as Paul highlighted a moment ago in track work, and whatever beats him will win it.
Yeah, I agree. I got him on top too. I think this is his race to win, and I think the dirt's good for him.
All right, see if we can find some horses to fill the minor places then. Starting off with Me Blanco, Corre Rapido, and Little Fantasy. I don't mind, actually. I
think Me Blanco, look, you just look at the stats, is better on the surface, and he has won on it now. I mean, he's only the 1-time winner from his 20-odd starts. So I've got him in on a minor place. Corre Rapido I haven't, and Little Fantasy as well. Corre Rapido is just a little bit too hit and miss for me, but Little Fantasy, another one who's getting on in age now, and he's only a 1-time winner as well. So of this 3, probably Me Blanco for me. Well, it is Me Blanco for me.
Yep, sounds like Andrew's got a Little Fantasy for Little Fantasy. I've had him in the tips from time to time. I'm a bit like Paul. I think Me Blanco, this is clearly a surface that he thrives on, so an inclusion for that reason.
All right, Sweet Bean's a multiple winner. He's pretty versatile as well. This is over the 2,200 metres, along with Penzance. I was expecting Penzance to run better, to be perfectly honest, but it was a funny run race.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about the surface. He's going to try it for the first time. Pentar out of a Zabeel mare. We know he'll run 3 laps if you allow him to, but we don't get, obviously, many races like that, do we? So that puts him out of contention, I think, for a lot. Sweet Bean, he's had 10 starts. He was in a bit of form, then out of form, and now he's sort of racing back into a little bit of form.
He's a 7-time winner, so you wouldn't mind owning him, Sweet Bean.
Absolutely.
And look, he ran 2nd last time, so he's another one that's definitely got a chance. Yeah, Penzance for me, he needs 3,600 plus, I think.
All right.
Had a couple of hurdles last time he said that.
Exactly. He's got as well.
He's running.
Jin King's one of 2 class droppers here, the other one being Gorgeous again, but this is him at the trials.
Yeah, didn't mind him last start, actually, Jin King, but he didn't run too well behind Dynamic Eagle, and I didn't like the way he hung in as well. He's got the big weight, he gets a little bit of a relief of Matthew Poon aboard, and he's trying the surface for the first time. So there is positives and negatives about him. In the end, I didn't go with him. I left him out.
Same, but I'm with you, Paul. I think he'll be handy enough, and when they turn into the stretch, he'll look some chance, Jin King. Whether he gets overhauled, I'm not sure. Gorgeous again, very well rated now, and quite a good record in the class. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise if he bobbed up.
All right, but favourite for you here, Paul Moreira?
Yeah, I've got him on top. I think he looks really well seated. The 1,800 metres and the surface looks ideal. A horse that's drinking at the Last Chance Saloon and his drink's almost finished is Master Benini. I've tipped him a few times.
You've been away too long, Paul.
I think we all have, haven't we? He's another one of these 16-start maidens. But look, we'll give him the chance on the surface to go all right over the 1,800 metres, but I've got my eye on him. Me Blanco in there for third, and Dragon Warrior should get a nice run. 3, 5, 9 and 10 for me.
You ever had to rustle between the crowd to get to the last bar saloon or Last Chance Saloon? For me, I think Lucky Shiny Day, this is his race as well. Me Blanco likes the surface. Enjoyable Success has shown a bit of a liking for this surface too, and he's got the Plum Alley here for Neil Callan. And Dragon Warrior's been a disappointing horse. He's had some soundness issues, but over this longer trip, Blinkers went on for the first time last start. I think he could improve a little bit more. 3, 9, 4 and 10. All
right, Lucky Shiny Day, the one to beat, but Little Fantasy, maybe the one to do it. We will find out in due course. 1,800 metres on the dirt for race number 2. Race number 3, we're back on the turf for the third and back down the straight as well. 1,000 metre dash.